Now, what I think of altitude as, this is my own view, is almost something like the business potential movement. And I say that because in psychology and in therapy and kind of people development, there are a couple of different mindsets. And the common mindset is this mindset of people are broken, let's fix them. And what happens when you come from that paradigm in a lot of cases is you're trying to get people back to zero. So people are broken, they're below zero, you're trying to get them back up to zero, instead of asking the question, how high is high? How high could we go if we had no limit? And what if we didn't worry too much about the problems? What if we started strong and we figured out how to just develop ourselves into the strongest, most powerful business people and businesses that we could be? And so my approach is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be solving some problems here, but we're mostly going to be focused on taking advantage of opportunities and taking a strength or taking a discovery and growing it, starting above zero and going very high. Potential. And if you could help me with that, if you could help create that by thinking in that mindset, and instead of being stuck in, oh, I can't do that, or I don't know if that'll work for me, or my mom would see that advertising and she'd get very upset and that doesn't make very much sense to me, or what would my competitors say? Instead of whining and arguing, how about starting strong and finding things to make you stronger? When they build a skyscraper up into the sky, where do you think they start? You think they start by putting the facade on? No, not so much. You think they start by putting the furniture in the offices? No. There's a massive amount of prep work that goes into building a skyscraper. And what we do is we go into cities and we look up at them and we say, oh, wow, that's beautiful. Well, skyscrapers require a very careful approach, because if it's not built right and it falls, it's bad. As they say, it's a bad thing. You know, that whole good, bad, it's definitely over on the bad side. So they have to spend some time creating a proper foundation. Are you familiar with the Petronas Towers in Malaysia? They were the tallest buildings in the world for 6 years, up until very recently. Something like 1,485 feet tall, almost 1,500 feet tall. They're huge. Guess how deep the foundation is for those buildings? 394 feet. Almost 400 feet into the ground to build a 1,500-foot structure on the top. Now, when most people think, I'm going to go into the skyscraper building business, do you think that they focus on learning to build foundations? Do you think that's where they're thinking when they go into it? I don't think so. And anyone that's ever had structural problems in their house understands just how important it is to have a good foundation. Structural problems create huge issues down the road. And we're going to talk a lot about creating conditions and structures in your business, but I just want to put that metaphor in your mind. And another one that's been very meaningful to me that I think about a lot, someone once said, I don't remember who this was, is when you go out on a summer day and you walk under a huge, beautiful oak tree to get some shade, and it's this amazing creation. It's complex and simple at the same time. It's just beautiful. And you're standing there and you put your hand on it and you look up. You don't realize that just like you're surrounded on the top by this tree, below you is another structure that looks very similar. And you're almost completely surrounded by this entity or this organism. Now, why is it that we don't think, wow, I so appreciate the root system of this tree? Right? We can't see it. It's not obvious. It's not something that's right in front of us. We just stand there and say, oh, this thing's beautiful, and we think that the roots probably go like 2 inches underground and it's all good. If you've ever had trees growing through your plumbing, like someone recently on our team, you understand that they can be very tenacious and life always finds a way. But that foundation under the tree is what's required to grow the big tree. My friend Alex Mondosian talks about the difference between his privet trees that grow out around his house and a bamboo tree. The privet tree, you plant it, and it grows something like a foot a year. Boom, they grow up quickly. They put them in new developments so that they can quickly have landscaping. Some species of bamboo, they take 3 years of growing root systems underground before they even sprout. But then once they sprout, they can grow at a rate of up to 2 to 3 feet a day because they built the root system and the foundation first. So those are some metaphors that have been very useful to me that I like to reflect on and think about that help me mirror what I need to do out in the real world, out here with my business. So I hope those are useful to you.